on Weather Command with a quick update on Tropical Depression 2C. Trying to organize this morning. It's a few hundred miles southeast of Hawaii, the Aloha State, weathering Hurricane Lala less than a week ago. You see Lala churning there as Tropical Depression 2C started to form. Now, power does remain out for more than 10,000 Hawaiians, most of the outages on the Big Island, and that's the island that could once again deal with the heaviest rain associated with TD2C. There is a flight that the hurricane hunters are scheduled to take, already taking off, and they'll be in the storm later this afternoon with the mission to investigate that low-level environment, trying to find that center. Some dry air has been working into the system. So as it was officially designated a tropical depression about 24 hours ago, there has not been much that's changed aside from a little more dry air working into it. We are still expecting this to become the next named storm for the Central Pacific, which is Moke. But until that technically happens, it's still a TD or a tropical depression. So what about impacts? Because that's ultimately what matters. This thing's moving to the west-northwest at 10 miles an hour. Beginning on Saturday, we'll likely start feeling those impacts. There is a ton of dry air, though, draped over Hawaii, acting as that barrier. Same thing happened when we looked at the mid-levels of the atmosphere with Lala. But at the surface, that low-level moisture is going to be there, and we'll see things ultimately play out for the Big Island of Hawaii. Not in an exact fashion like Lala, but similar, as heavy rain is going to spread through and the storm is expected to strengthen, perhaps becoming a stronger tropical storm by Sunday morning. But it's nice, Jane. Hawaii is not in the cone this time. Hawaii was in the cone with Lala the entire way.
Seems as though, too, a new model run this morning and, further backing off this idea, right, that TD2C could become a hurricane. At one point yesterday, we were looking at model guidance that was suggestive of that intensity. Now, as we've seen, some of the presentation of this system, maybe knocking down that. But it's not going to change much in terms of impact. I do think that TD2C Moke is drifting far enough south of the Hawaiian Islands that the wind field shouldn't be too challenging. Higher elevations, certainly. But warmer waters, maybe that you would think in turn would maybe help gain a little more intensity because it is much farther south than Lala was. But the dry air and some of the wind shear that it's dealing with right now has proven to be a bit of a challenge, slowing some of that progression.
No doubt. Well, there's the dry air that we have through the mid-levels. Again, this is just one layer of the atmosphere where you see it, but that's notable dry air, and it's up to quite the challenge. I know you might see this big clockwise circulation, a reminder that lows move counterclockwise. That low-level center is west of that ridge of high pressure, but it's a low-level center, so we're not able to see it in the mid-levels. And it's still a very weak system. I mean, it's barely a tropical depression.
Right.
It's a little better than a cluster of storms because there is a center that at least is interacting with those sea surface temperatures, and we're seeing some storms form. So here comes that system. A tropical storm is the forecast, Moke, as it'll eventually be called, as long as it's able to fend off that dry air. But there's the moisture, and it's going to linger maybe through Monday.
It is maybe through Monday, through early Tuesday, and that's where we could be talking nearly a foot of rain on the windward side of the islands. The Big Island now under a flood watch as they prepare for those impacts again that will start as that moisture moves in by Saturday afternoon.